Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Inside Guns with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. Today I want to get into a little gun talk and I want to answer a question that came in from a viewer yesterday. They asked me, what gun over the past decade do you think was really good but was a complete failure? Totally just shit the bed. Didn't work out at all. And I did a similar video to this talking about how I think a certain Springfield came out at the wrong time, and because of that, it didn't do well in sales and it's now been discontinued. But in this video, we're going to cover a gun that I think was just absolutely great, but because of some major missteps by the company, the gun just failed. And the gun I'm talking about is the Hudson H9. If you're not familiar with this gun, it was a very unique gun. I fell in love with this gun the minute I saw it. It made me tingly in all the right places when I saw it at SHOT Show. I believe it was 2017. This gun was awesome. What this gun was is it was basically a gun that married some of the best features of different types of guns. It had kind of the ergonomics of a 1911 and had the straight pullback trigger of a 1911, which is one of the best features of a 1911. But it was a striker-fired gun that held 15 rounds. So it brought some of the more modern features, the higher capacity, the striker-fired, into a gun that had some of the older features like the ergonomics and the trigger of a 1911. But that wasn't even the greatest claim to fame of this gun. The greatest claim to fame of this gun was, in my opinion, the looks. I loved the way it looked, and the reason it looked the way it did is because of how the barrel system and the recoil system were all set up and how they connect. It connected further forward, and because of that, it could connect lower. Instead of the recoil system being above the trigger like it is in most guns, it rides along atop the trigger. This could actually be set down in front of the trigger. As you can see in the design, that's why it has that big thick front end. It's not just for looks. That's actually a functional aspect of this gun. And because of that, it really directed the recoil impulse more into your hand and forearm and made the gun a pleasure to shoot. Now, it was just 9mm, so it wasn't the most powerful gun in the world, but I was hoping that in the future it would come out like in a 40 or something. But still, very effective caliber, and in this gun, hardly any recoil. Now, part of that is because the gun was all steel and, it weighed like over 34 ounces, I do believe. I'm saying this from memory, so take it with a grain of salt, but I think it was like 34, 35 ounces, which is not outside the realm of weight for a carry gun. A lot of duty weapons in this category, weigh about the same. Now, why did this gun fail? Well, when I first saw it at SHOT Show, I said, wow, this is an amazing design and it's really cool. How long is it going to be till this gets to market? What, your research and development, how long is it going to be? And I was fully expecting to hear 3 to 5 years. Usually when you see a new gun from scratch that early on, especially from a small company, it's years away from actually being a marketable firearm, especially since they'd only been working on this for like a year or two at the time. So I was like, another few years, this will probably hit the market. Well, I was surprised to hear them say, next year, we're going to have it out next year. Should be hitting shelves pretty soon. And I was like, actually they said within a year. And I was like, wow, that's kind of fast. Are you worried about there being some hiccups or some bugs, etc. along the way? And they were like, no, we're confident in the design and blah, blah, blah. We think it'll do great. And I agreed with them. I was very confident in the design also, but I also know whenever things can go wrong, they usually do go wrong, especially in a market where people are very picky. Now, one good thing about this gun is it was unique, but it wasn't super expensive either. So when they said they were going to put it on to market, I was like, well, it's probably going to sell pretty well at first, I would think. For a new design that was very different because it was priced, in line with a SIG or an H&K, not like some of the newer guns that have similar kind of ideas behind them, like the Lago Alien. It didn't come out like $5, $6, $7 grand. It was, around $1,000, like a comparable SIG. So I thought, well, they'll probably do okay. And if there are some problems, as long as they stay on top of them and fix them as they go, they'll be doing great. Well, they got them onto the market, and there were some minor hiccups, some minor performance hiccups, and, a lot of people wanted a lighter gun. It was kind of heavy for some people. But here's where the second mistake. The first mistake was going to market too soon. Here's the second mistake that was made, and this is the one that put the nail in their coffin as far as I'm concerned. Because they were listening to their customers, which is a good thing, they actually said, very shortly into the run of the first series guns, they said, you know what, we've been listening to you guys. We know you've got these couple little issues, these performance hiccups. We're going to take care of those. And we're putting out a new model, the H9A. It's going to be lighter. It's going to have an aluminum frame. It's going to maintain the steel chassis system they use inside the frame. It's going to maintain the steel slide. Everything that touches each other and moves is going to be steel. But the gun's going to be like 10 ounces lighter, which is going to put it down in that 24-ounce category, which makes it very competitive with a lot of other guns. Because now, remember, you got a gun that's all metal, and all the working parts are steel, and it's light, holds 15 plus 1 rounds, has an amazing trigger, and almost no recoil. Very winning combination there. They were listening to their customers, and they're giving them what they would want. I know I wanted one. I was wanting that H9A really bad. I wanted an H9, never got one. I wish I had bought one. It's one of the guns I regret not buying. But I wish I'd got one. But the H9A I really wanted. It was going to deal with some of the growing pain issues, and it was going to be much lighter, much easier to carry. Going to be a great gun, I thought. The problem was they listened and reacted too soon, and actually interacted because they were on the line and talking to their customers. They told people something too soon. They said, yeah, we know we just started selling the H9s and you've got some issues with them, but we're already starting on a new model. That'll be much better. And the thing is, they said this to people before they had sold most of the ones they'd already made of the H9s. That's like saying, the model 2022 Mustang is going to be awesome, but the 2023 is going to be way more awesome, and you're only a month in to selling the 2022s. And you're saying, and the 2023s are going to come out in 6 months. Or everybody's just going to say, well, I'm just going to wait till the 2023s. I'm going to wait 6 months. And that's what they did with the Hudson H9. Everybody just said, well, great, I'm not going to buy the H9. I'll wait for the H9A. And they ended up with, now they've got a bunch of guns they can't sell. The first ones they did sell are coming back to be retrofitted for the small issues they had. So they were finding themselves in a position where they were having to spend money to upgrade the pistols they'd already sold, couldn't sell the ones that were waiting even after they upgraded them because people were waiting for the new model, and therefore they went out of business because of some bad decisions, because of going to market too soon, and because of announcing that, hey, we've improved everything. Instead of saying first, we've taken care of the little hiccups with the original gun. The new ones don't have that problem. And if you have one that has that problem, send it in, we'll fix it. Instead of doing that and maintaining sales of their current model, they went ahead and announced the new model and made everybody go, well, I'll just wait. Unfortunately, they were gun lovers and gun enthusiasts more than they were business people, because business people wouldn't make that mistake. They wouldn't have been interacting as much with their fan base, their customer base, and they wouldn't have been so forthcoming with information of new models so early on in the other models' sales career or sales life. So it was those tiny mistakes that made a really wonderful gun go away. And to this day, I am very sad about that, because I thought this would be an awesome gun. I loved the way it looks. I was very excited about this gun. I thought this was going to be an amazing gun that had an amazing future. But in the end, a couple of just really bad marketing decisions and bad business decisions killed a gun that, like I said, I thought had a very bright future. All right, that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed the show, and I hope you come back again tomorrow. Until then, I want to remind everyone out there to always carry and stay safe until I see you again.